And hello, it is I, the Rogue Scaper, back from the presumed dead, back streaming again, getting back at it. It's been the holidays, everything, just general ennui of wanting to make videos and get stuff done, mental ruts, and just kind of just lazy nature. I've fallen behind. I always make a video and then I get kind of caught up in my head a bit. So hopefully everyone had a great Christmas, great New Year, and yeah, it's good to be back. It's a lot has happened in the skate community. A lot of a lot of stirring, a lot of reaction based content. I'm excited. We've crossed the threshold, and with the announcement of Scape being pre painted, the new Scape Renegade being pre painted, I definitely took some time to think like, what do I want to keep on doing? Do I want to keep on making tutorials? And I realized, yeah, I really enjoy it. If for no other reason than I like it, I'll keep on doing it. And there's a whole backlog of classic figures that are getting more and more expensive by the day. So I'm here to continue that, get some paint on some great figures today, and yeah, it's just I rearranged my setup a bit. Still got some work to do. I got some wood wallpaper I'm gonna put behind me. Let's see here. Make sure everything's running good. I think we should be fine. It's a bad blizzard outside, so hopefully we stay stable and secure. But you never know. If I dip out, well, it's been real, y'all. But hope everyone that's joining or will join is doing great. And it's just got over my mental block. It's just good to get back started. So, woo! Oh, look at that, two camera angles. So I've started doing some of Zetacron off camera, which is primarily what I'm going to be working on today. Um, to catch you up to speed, I have done a light gray base coat, and I went through and added a undercoat to all the areas that weren't white on the figure. This is what the original figure looks like, and you know what? I'm gonna say it. It's not it's probably one of my least favorite looking figures. I just it's posing. It's just kind of awkward, but I think we can make it look good. It's still a fun unit to play with, and definitely one a lot of people want because of the Equals Alliance is part of that. But yeah, I'm gonna get this going. I will be planning on making a full edit video for this, but you're gonna catch me live, ask me questions, and make all my mistakes that they usually cut out. So always a fun time. All right, so now that we've applied our base coat, we are going to go through and we are going to add that signature blue. I found that Vallejo flat blue is a very good color match for this. It's close enough for me, and always with your paint, shake them well and shake them good. We'll be working on these panels here. When you have like kind of the square panels that are separate from a main body, I always recommend that you kind of outline the shape of it and then fill it in. A lot less likely to make mistakes that way. So if all goes well, this should look better than the official model. You never know. trying to get the most prominent and big spots out of the way, just so I can kind of get that going. Oh, it feels good to just be here, get my my stream of consciousness going again. I've been working on a Guri Oni video for Heroescape, getting that one all edited. I've just been, you know what, for a person who loves making videos, I really hate being on camera. There's a lot of mental block that goes into that, and I know it just gets better with practice, but I'm secretly a raging perfectionist, so sometimes that is a bit hard for me. Just I spend I'll spend an hour on the camera setup before you even start filming, and then I have to go to bed. So I'm working on that. There's a such a thing as being too perfect. You know what? There's 1,000 of perfect ideas that remain unfinished out there. So I'm really trying to just be in a boat of this is a boat of year of just getting things done, being unafraid. Last year was kind of my year of just starting things, putting myself out there. This year, I'm really gonna try to make some cool stuff. I got some stuff lined up, some different videos too, besides just painting. You know, no one wants to be a one trick pony. I have other thoughts. I'm kind of going to ScapeCon, so I definitely get a lot of footage from there. So I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun year. I hope everything goes well. But got some trips planned. Kids are getting old, so they're not like babies anymore. So I'm able to do things I kind of put on hold for a bit, like write. I was able to write a short story yesterday for MGC. And I've also had a lot of commissions. I usually don't film commissions just because I admittedly I paint worse when I'm talking. Which I like talking to people, but I do. It's hard for me to focus on two things. Hard for me to focus on one thing. Listen to some Django Reinhardt today. Just in the mood for some swing. That man can pick a guitar for sure. So we put this black underlayer on just as a time saving. It saves so much time having to layer. You know, you don't want chalky or it's kind of uneven coverage over white. You want a nice, clean, solid part. And if I kind of also allows just for some like this is a 3D scan of a 3D model from a model that's like 10 years old. It definitely allows for some line work to be done and the details as well. Went over. So good on all accounts. I do like Vallejo Vallejo flat blue. It's one of my favorite blues I've worked with. It's just very consistent, very strong, very good coverage, and it really matches really well with the Heroescape blue they use for a lot of their things. So win on all accounts. Get underneath the armpit here. Yeah, it's been really in Kansas where I've been. It's just been a really heavy snowfall. We got 8 inches today, so I've not been able to work. I work pest control, so I've had a lot more free time. I'm starting to think I might have some form of ADD or ADHD because it really is really hard for me to focus and get things done. that's why there's so much delay between videos. Is I start working on something and I start doing something completely different. Yesterday, the other well, not yesterday, the other day I was changing a light bulb. I somehow ended up building the giant map for Heroescape. I had to move a table, and then when I moved the table, I saw my pieces out, and I was like, "Oh, this is nice. I have this idea." So I'm starting to think that might be indicative of some other things. My wife has like, yeah, I always just figured that's how your brain worked. Just getting all these corners here. Hopefully helps to look at the original model, just so you know you're not overdoing a detail on this one. And I'm using Monument Prosthetic size 4 right now. It's a pretty good brush. I'm kind of on the kind of a Monument fanboy at this point. I've been slowly changing my paints from Army Painter Vallejo to Monument, as I just really that buttery paint that comes out is just so nice. It lets you do. And they have some really unique colors. Not a lot of colors. You have to kind of it doesn't have like natural progression like Citadel has, or just a lot of colors like Army Painter has. But the colors they do have, they're very good. If you're kind of looking to move up past kind of your intro paints, which I consider like your Vallejo, your Army Painter, definitely looking to mod. Don't buy the hype. Citadel paints are overrated. They got some good colors. Citadel paints just kind of a different mentality. I don't like using them too much for Heroescape stuff. It's just I don't like pots. I don't like the cost. I don't like. I just not a. I'm just not the biggest fan of their paint lines. Yesterday I was cleaning out my paints and I had like 6, 7 of their pots dried out. I thought they were closed. So I was mad about that. I was like, oh, that's $40 I just have to throw away there. But the people that paint with Citadel swear by it. I don't think it's a bad paint range. It's just definitely not for me. Of course, can paint with craft paint from Walmart as well. It all depends on what you do. I do a lot of painting, so it's just more of a time investment. You just get look at that even coverage right there. It's just affects the flow and coverage if you use cheaper paints or different paints. Probably should make a video about my opinions on paints and what to use for your escape. It's probably a good one to work on. Nice and simple. I sometimes make things a bit too hard. There's one paint brand for Heroescape figures. What would you recommend from Corey? Let's see here. So, a paint brand for miniatures. I think it depends on your level where you're at. So, if you really are just getting into it, don't have any idea what you're doing, I'd recommend Army Painter. They just have so much color, and and color matching takes a bit of time and a bit of skill to get used to. They have probably the widest and most affordable color range you can get. Beyond that, I would get Vallejo. Vallejo's has really good coverage, really strong, good quality, and good affordable price. They have less colors and less kind of built-in packs, but I like their paints a bit more than Army Painter. Army Painter, some people will dog on, but I think it's a great place to start. So Army Painter Vallejo is definitely what I'd recommend there. Once you move up, my personal opinion is go to Monument, go to some Pro Acryl. But that's when you realize, oh wait, I have a this isn't a hobby anymore. This is an addiction. But yeah, no, both those paints are really good. It depends on if you want more coverage or if you want more variety, or you can get both. I always say that you don't be a paint loyalist. Always try new brands, new things out. They're always releasing new stuff. Um, and they're always changing mixtures. I'm using speed paints, and then Army Painter just released Speed Paints 2.0, which are also a great point to start with too. If you're just really getting started, just want to get some paint on some figures so they're not gray. Speed Paints Army Painter has probably the best kind of contrast paint solution I've worked with. Very consistent, very strong. I get a lot of colors too, and not too expensive. But every person has their own preference. There's people out there that'll swear by Citadel. I would recommend Citadel for Heroescape. It's just a different mentality for painting. I'm about intermediate when it comes to painting, and yeah, I'm starting to like the Army Painter ones less and less. I personally really like their wash though. Yeah, Army Painter washes are great. They're probably the most equivalent to Heroescape paints, to the Heroescape washes you can get. They really just kind of have that thick, heavy tone. They're more honestly shaders than wash because they kind of will darken the whole thing. Um, yeah, Army Painter is great. It's your, I play guitar for a bit. It's your practice guitar. You get how it flows, but some colors I really just don't like. But they still got some good colors. I really like their metallics are really good. Also, their metallics, they get nice strong metallics, but there's they're definitely beginner oriented. They have some issues mixing, and you got to put mixing balls in them and stuff like that. But I won't dog on them. I painted enough things with Army Painter to. I still have a bunch behind me now. I'm working my way through. Yeah, the washes are really nice. Yeah, the metallics are really good too. I like Army Painter because they got a lot of variety. You kind of have to sometimes do a little bit of research. It's not always consistent, but they have really good dark silver. I really like how they have their own colored metallic line, which if you're doing a lot more professional stuff, you probably won't be doing. But like for Heroescape stuff, it's nice to have a variety of metallics. I was making some customs with some like green blades out of metallic, things like that. Not bad, not bad at all. I always say the best paint to use is the one you got. If you got Army Painter, use Army Painter. It's not unusable. It's just there's always a slightly better option, but it just depends on what you're looking to do. My motto is just as long as it's not gray, as long as you don't have gray plastic, you really can't mess up. Even if you paint it bad, at least it's something you did. It's better than unpainted. Thanks for asking questions. I love talking about this stuff. Honestly, I never thought I would be much of a painter. I will say that people always accuse me of just bad hand coordination, but during the pandemic, I really just kind of fell in love. That was my everyone came out of the pandemic with some kind of weird hobby. This was mine. But if you're intermediate, I would definitely would look to use Vallejo. I would get just the Vallejo kind of base colors, see if you like them. Um, and if you're feeling especially crazy, I'd get Monuments, the Pro Acryl, get their bold titanium white, and get their get their reds, and you'll definitely they'll definitely start to notice kind of the difference in coverage and quality there. You'll be like, oh wow, I might not be able to go back. Don't have any Pro Krill blues. I've been meaning to try them out as well, but I really like Vallejo blues. I think Vallejo blue right now is one of my favorites to work with. Let's see, it's white. It's white. It helps when you have a reference model to pinpoint. There's just so many different little panels to get right on this guy. All right, let's see here. If anyone painting Heroescape figures ever does need a figure to reference, I did go through and film all the classic and D&D figures, complete 3D spin around, so you can kind of look at them and definitely definitely pick up a lot of little details. I was like, there are no good pictures of a Divider's backside. It's got one of the Pro Acryl Army Green ones for some 8th Pathfinders. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, definitely excited to see if you like it. The Oh yeah, the Pathfinders, the VC unit. Those are fun. I have to get some more. I had a I got like a lot of proxies for things. I just had a bunch of army guys sitting around, but I've been meaning to tend to transition to the actual models and so with that. But I get distracted. Yeah, those will look really nice. I think with that coverage, and you do a nice like dark brown wash on them, you'll be cooking. Yeah, let's see. Let's get behind here a bit. Panels. You have a buddy has a 3D printer, so I'm constantly getting new figures to paint. Paint plate, yes, that's 3D printing is the way to go. I realize, you know what, the amount I am spending on just acquiring figures, I just need to get into this. So I figured that hobby out. I was like, oh wow, I'm saving hundreds of dollars, because I have all the original Scape, but once you start getting to four squads of axe grinders, you definitely like, oh wow, I need to find a better alternative. I've actually been working on some like axe grinders. It's like once you figure it out, like it's like printing your own money right here. Like once these guys get finished, that's a ridiculous amount of money I saved right there. Especially for the VC stuff, because I like the powers a lot for VC, but some of the suggested figures they're just limited by their pre-painted option, and they just don't look. I don't want to pay $30 for a figure that doesn't look very good, but plays really good. So it's definitely nice to be able to print up a bunch of something that's like Arcanins or whatever. Like I don't really like how they look, but I do like how they play. Or Gladiatrix. I was like, I don't like that figure at all, but I do want to play with it. Let's see panels here. So I'll be white. Yeah, 5 squads of 3D printed Capuans. Yep, yep. That's the people were so resistant to it at first, but I'm just like, it's really not that hard, especially painting Heroescape stuff. Like it is. I always say if I can do it, anyone can paint. Like I am by no means claim to be a master at this. I'm just a guy who really enjoys it. I love the Gladiators, so it's they're probably one of my favorite squads to play if the opponent isn't being range heavy. I'll have to do a little bit of cleanup on this guy, but that's no problem. We're just moving right along. Let's see here. Make sure I'm not missing any important details. I think it's little buttons here. Really like them with the custom gladiator Tetratites or I'm gonna mispronounce that, but I think that's how it's spelled. Old Terry, yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've ever played with. I have the figure, like the official figure. I just never played with that guy. I'm kind of in the weird situation. I have a lot of the pieces, a lot of the stuff, but not a lot of people to play with. Well, that used to be the case. I recently moved to Kansas. Discovered there's actually a pretty good scene out here. I met up with another skate painter named Blast Shark who lives in the nearby area, and played a couple of games with them, which was fun. I have to look up Jardy's power. I know he does. I know he has like insta kill ability at some kind of HP condition. Let's see here. You invoked my curiosity. Let's see what he does. Let's see here. Look at Tetrides. He's got the spike gauntlet. Oh yeah, he looks pretty fun to play with the gladiator steamroller combination for sure. I'll have to give him a go. I have his card and everything. I just never bothered to bring him out. Huh, okay, yeah, that looks really fun. Just kind of a simple beat stick, but man, looks like he can do some damage. Also, that one life remaining is brutal against big figures like Brunak or whatever. Just really cut right through him. And I feel that I'm in Wisconsin, have slowly been getting group built to play, and have been running the Wisconsin monthly tournament for over a year now. That is exciting. Yeah, it's you gotta you gotta get all the people together. If I'm ever in Wisconsin, I'll say hi. Um, yeah, I've never been to a tournament. I've never been to any of the kind of organized play. I used to live in California, which is kind of Northern California, which is kind of away from a lot of people. And I was pretty busy back then too. You know, I was working two or three jobs. I didn't have a lot of spare time or income, but I'm kind of in a good stage of life now. I've just uh, just recently started a job that gives me a lot more time and flexibility to work in the family business, which is nice. Just got a corporate insurance, which I was not happy doing, surprisingly. How cold is it in Wisconsin now? I imagine it's cold in Kansas. I imagine it's freezing up there. Right. Alright, so this goes into here. Oh, I forgot its faceplate is like that. We're not very intense in the competition sense. We always just like to have fun with it. Love to play if you ever in the north. Definitely, I'll keep it in mind. Yeah, I Heroescape competitive community is definitely lightweight compared to others. I have a friend who's really into like Warhammer and stuff like that, and that competitive community is intense. We're all just there to have fun. We just want to have our our giant dinosaurs eat our samurai. That's all we're there for. That's why I like the Escape community. It's not terrible. We were supposed to get way more snow, like 2 inches right now, like 20 degrees out. Oh well, you said it all my way. We got like 8 inches today. It's like Arctic blast out here. It's crazy. We're getting there. We're starting to see something that looks like something. My brain just like completely inverted this. That's what my brain does when I paint Omnicrons. I can never remember which part's the blue part, which part's the white part. Always make reverse Omnicrons. All right, let's get a dark silver going on here. I'll be using Pro Acryl Dark Silver. I think it's a base coat for the guns and the metallic bits. Where's my dry palette? I'm using a wet palette, but I don't like my metallics mixing in with my water within, so bring a dry palette out for this. Definitely recommend going vertical or whatever direction this is along the length of the tube. It'll be a lot easier not to get it on your white. It's always better to paint long lines than short lines. Around, make sure you got all the little bits. This is why we also did a black undercoat. If you miss anything, it definitely hides it a lot better than if it's just pure white right there. Stick out like a sore thumb. The best mini painters are the ones that cheat the most. I will be giving away all these Zetacron later. I'll be making a video about it, but it's part of the Quillis Alliance series I'm going through. Once that video is done, it'll be offered as a getaway, as a giveaway, because I really don't need more than one Zetacron. I barely need my one Zetacron, but he's a good little boy, if not entirely misshapen. Do you generally use black or white base? It honestly depends on what I'm doing. I for the Zetacrons, you definitely want to use a light base, just because it's just less work. It just kind of I just kind of do it on a case by case basis. I kind of have colors I assign to which. If it's like red, you want to use a darker. Um, if it's kind of reds, blues, kind of stuff with high pigmentation in the paint, I use a darker thing because it's easier to lay over it. But if I'm working with yellows, whites, pinks, I try to go. I usually do light gray, just so it gives you a little bit to build up from. Like this looks white, but it's actually a light gray right here. It's just I like to I like to spruce them up a bit more. So answer your question, both I guess. If I had to choose, I usually go lighter than darker for Hero Escape, just because you don't gotta. You're not trying to win any awards. You're just trying to get them done. But if you got like figures with lots of armor, knights, dwarves, soulborgs, or like gruts, all dark would be really good for them. That way, when you do like armor, it's really nice building up silvers from completely black compared to completely white. And for bigger models, I usually use a combination of both and use zenithal just to get all the details kind of flushed out. So like if you're painting Zelrig or Gurioni, definitely recommend using zenithal, which is a dark base and a white base sprayed directly over top of it. It really will save a lot of time, and if you keep your paints in, you can really add some cool transitions rather easily. I actually have a lot of before I got an airbrush, I had a lot of different primers. I actually had color primers, and there's a lot of your priming coat, your undercoat layer is really it's really the foundation of how you're gonna do your mini. You can always build up off of it, but I always like doing less work. I always do white, so good to know. White's great. It's white's yeah, white's good. It's just honestly if you want really vibrant armor, I recommend at least going over that with black after you prime it white. Um, you'll notice a lot of a lot big differences. Let's see, do I have an example nearby? Here, let me grab something. All right, so here's like a night I worked on using a black base, and I was able to just within 2 layers really create really dynamic looking armor. It's just you can blend so you can see the shadows and recesses. And this is kind of just a random guy. I was just testing paints on his little random dwarf guy that I primed kind of a lighter color. You still can like apply, you know, it's not the end of the world because most metallics come on pretty thick. But let's say I'm in a hurry. I have 20 of these guys to get done. I'm not going to focus on the recesses. You know, I'm going to miss spots, and the white shows through and makes it look unfinished here. It kind of just doesn't show all the way. If you do whites with metallics, you just got to make sure your coverage is really, really good. No white spots showing through. And I'm kind of using a darker tone. If you're using something even lighter metal, it'll show through even less. It all just depends on the amount of control you want to have over your figure. Let's see here. It's black is dry. Thankfully, in Heroescape, the washes do a lot of the work. They cover a variety of sets, so it's always your bat fallout is even if you do over white or black, you can always just cover everything up with a good wash. Let's get this faceplate going. So when you have kind of narrow areas, make sure you have a good brush and use the edge of your brush, not the tip. You're able to have a lot more control and make less mistakes. That's how you box things in. There you go. So for this one, I am doing kind of more of an alternate method where I'm going to kind of build up the white from a slightly darker color. But if you're in a hurry, just want to get this guy done, definitely just recommend spray painting the whole thing or priming the whole thing white, and then just washing it. Save you a lot of time. But notice how this black undertone is starting to kind of create lines for the figure, kind of adding a bit of dimensionality to it. If there's ever a chance to add more contrast to your figure, always try to do that because contrast is really what makes a good figure from a bad figure. You know, those incredible mini painters that do all the just have really incredible figures they paint. They're really their main thing is they just master contrast, master color. And I see Tails is in the chat. Welcome, Tails. Always a pleasure. Generally paint bulk, get ready for tournaments. Oh yeah, yeah. There's definitely a difference between painting 20 guys and one guy. You know, Zetacron's getting a lot more love than my my 10 squads of X grinders I'm working through are for sure. I like my heroes to be heroic, on the battlefield. There's only one Zetacron out there. He might as well look as best as possible. But definitely don't get weighed down on making every Venoch Viper look pristine because the figures themselves don't look pristine. They are made rather fast and a little bit sloppily. That's part of their charm. Wow, it looks super clean. Thank you. Yes, he took a bath today, so he's clean. that's my sister right there. So I can tease her. Yeah, it's definitely. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's good to be back in the flow again after a hiatus. I'm like, oh wait, I can just do this. All right, let's see here. I'm just being a little bit anal about all these little stuff here. All right. Yeah, well, Tails, I hope you and the family are doing well. I don't know if you got a bit of this Arctic blast going through, but I hope you're all safe as well too. Ooh, doing some art commissions. Yeah, I got to commission you for some stuff. Uh, I do like your art. I have some things I've been working on. I'd like your help on. What are you drawing now? Right, let's get a lighter silver for some of the other parts. I got where is my plate metal when I need it? Well, hello there. Hello, Mister Too Much Awesomeness. Excellent seeing you, or seeing you digitally, virtually, digivirtually, as it were. Now I'm kind of bad at this, but you probably should use metallics in your nice brush. Uh, Metallics can really mess up the ferrule. This part right here, and really make you go through brushes fast. So definitely if you're doing a lot of metallics, swap out to something so you don't ruin them. Doing all right. Just editing the last podcast. I'm preparing for the next small army skirmishes I plan on doing possibly Sunday. I do enjoy watching those Heroescape battles. They're really they, uh, they are a great backdrop for my painting. And Gatura says, nope, can't send pictures on YouTube. It's the Hunger Games bird for one of the students, but it's made of soup of contrast and shapes. I will have to see that later from you. And so a bird with spirit in its mouth. And Mr. Too Much Awesome is making their digital appearance. I always appreciate it. Hard part with Heroescape figures is really just determining which part is dark because of age, which part is dark because of shade, and which part is intentionally dark. I always recommend go lighter. It's easier to darken something than lighten something. Let's get this little side display figures you're really excited to paint. This one's been fun to work on. Let's see here. I'm working through some. I might go get to some Christmas guys. I got. I have some Heroquest figures, which are kind of related to Heroescape, but not directly. And I don't know. I got a pile of stuff. I'm just getting through. I'm just freewheeling it tonight. I'm just getting back in the game after a too long hiatus. It's good to be back. Let's see here. Where is? All right. So next, I'm going to use Pro Acryl Bright Warm Gray just to fill in kind of the spots I missed here. It's always recommended that especially with whites, that you thin them down and you take your time on them. Whites are a tricky thing to paint just because of coverage and quality. So always recommend going a shade under what you really want it to be. I'm just going to go through and clean this up just a tiny bit. I'm going to clean it up after I put a shade on it, but I did make some mistakes while painting that I still want to be covered with the shade. Let's also add some slight color distinction. Kind of nice. Any centaurs? I don't like painting horses in general. Um, they just they're just they're the way a horse is shaped. All the the uh, the loose paint goes to the bottom and gets into a pool, and it's just always a nightmare to because they're both large and round and kind of ovalish. So I don't like painting horses. You really just gotta just kind of take your time with them, and also like saddles and stirrups and all that stuff. They're the worst. You have to kind of pick them all out. Not my favorite thing to do. So I try to avoid centaurs as much as possible because they're just horse, but you also have to do a face as well. So you know, worst of both worlds. Yeah, I'm just picking out some of these spots where I got a little too happy with the black paint. Normal, yeah, but they're not human faces. It's different. It's subtle but different. NGC is working on a cowboy riding a horse, like a stallion, and I had to paint that figure, and I did not enjoy it. It's just what I just don't like horses. Like I just can't like horses. Okay, and horses' faces are just tubes. I don't like them either. Really, the best thing for horses is just to use like speed paint on them and apply a zenithal wash, a zenithal highlight, because then you can kind of just get it done, and the highlights, the shadows kind of work really good that way. Painting a horse from the ground up. Oh, thank you. I could do it. It's not fun. You've heard of the headless horseman, but what about the faceless horse that he rides? No one ever talks about that. It's a little bit of cleanup here. And let's see here. Dots going. And when you do little dots, it's yeah, I find it's really helpful just to kind of go in a circle motion with the brush. Gotta fill it in. Just like a neck nub. Yeah, like from like DuckTales, you know? I did say NGC is making a cowboy riding a horse. You know what? I would have probably in trouble for this. I don't care. An exclusive sneak peek at the figure. I think we've announced the figure that's coming, but this is what this is the test paint job for it. I do all the figure painting for NGC, so I usually do about two or three test models to kind of determine what I like. But very vibrant. Definitely, the final model will have a lot better colors, but I like where this guy's going. He's gonna be kind of fun. This wave is definitely going to be very fun. But you know, sneak peek for watching my stream. I love like westerns and vigilantes and cowboys and all that stuff. So this wave is right up my alley. My next D&D campaign will be heavily western inspired. I'm making a subclass for every class that fits into the setting, which is what I've also been doing in my free time because I've committed to the nerd lifestyle. So it's a little bit warmer than I would like to be, but honestly, this is just kind of bumping it up. There's white panels. Yeah, Cowboys are really fun. They're really, just you can't go wrong with the Cowboys. It's another faction I have to look further into. I know that there's the Clayton Rolfroyd or Clayton Pierce or something. He really brings the faction together. I've never had a chance to utilize him yet. All right, I'm gonna dip my talented brother. Have a good time. Start getting ready for bed. Oh wow, you're an old person now. It's like 9:57. The night's just getting started. All right, well, thanks for swinging by. It's always a pleasure. Nothing like a good bout of insomnia to really help get things done. It's a bit more yellowish than I would have liked, but it's okay. At least you know I'm unerringly human. Blue for all the Cowboys. Yeah, I gotta try them out. I'm gonna be going to EscapeCon this year, hopefully. So I'm excited to get a lot more focus games in, and I usually what I've been playing most of my life is Heroescape's a party game. You have 8 people playing, no one knows what they're doing except for me. So I'm excited to get some real some real games in. Tails says going to bed. See myself can only do so many late nights. Yeah, Tails, you're a trooper as is. So thank you so much for swinging by. Have fun getting the last of your editing done, and um, I'll do a stream where I probably paint some things as well. I realized I was like, oh wait, I was gonna probably shouldn't have said that. I'm like the Mark Ruffalo of secrets. Watch what you tell me. I won't intentionally tell anyone, but boy, I just like excited about things. All right, so I'm sure the camera kind of notices there's a slight color difference between these. It's not the end of the world, but my recommendation, I would go for something a little bit more. There's two different kinds of white. There's cool white, and there's warm white. Warm whites like your skeleton bones, your mummy robes, and cool whites kind of like it's like the stuff that you use on Nilfheim or like ice. Just stuff that kind of has a is on the color scale more close to blue or green or black. All right, let's see here. Here, touch ups take the longest. Honestly, the base coat's fine, but cleaning up all your mistakes. That's where the time comes from. Sure, you get a nice solid coat. Definitely want to do that before the wash happens, as it gets a bit harder after the wash. Zetacron's a bit hard because he has a lot of angles that you gotta look all around for. Just make sure you didn't miss anything. All right, we're looking pretty good here. Just gonna make this panel a bit more straight. just going through. You see kind of these patches of black that kind of have spread or didn't cover properly. I'm just really going through, fixing all that up. There we go. This front panel spot is probably the most important part to pay attention to. That's where most people will see and look at. Down here, people aren't really going to care too much. All right. Let's do a once more once over. Little details that you could probably ignore if you're just painting this at home. Like this is, you can just ignore this stuff. If you want the cleanest possible. Do it. All right, that almost looks satisfactory. So that's pretty good. That's looking really good. We're gonna let this dry for a couple minutes. See if I get some paint on these rogues, or do axe grinders if the chat would prefer that. Let's get a brown going here. Dark umber for these guys in the interlude. I am the most disorganized person in the entire world. There we go. Dark umber. Pro Krill. I don't know. I put on my dry palette. Don't really want to mix it with other stuff. So So when you're painting cloth, you want to use very thin layers. You should be able to, I was asked earlier, dark or light. For cloth, definitely use light because you want to be able to see the curves and all the detail come through. It saves you a lot of time when you do it. This is kind of hard. It starts off as one of the hardest things to paint. Once you figure it out, it's really entertaining because you can do a lot with the highlights and the texture. I'm probably gonna eventually paint this with some scratches on the leather. These are from the Heroquest game, which is like the grandfather of Heroescape. It has kind of the same dice system, but it's more of an RPG compared to a war game. I've never actually played it. I own it all. I just I just need more friends. That's the problem. I'm just doing this real fast. I'll wait for my Zeddy boy. Just making me work hard tonight on the whites. Let's do space color as well. I'm gonna go ahead and paint the arm guards dark brown as well. We're gonna layer it past that, but no harm putting the dark brown layer on over here. So I was excited for Heroescape when Age of Annihilation was announced because the Avalon Hill minis are really fun to paint. They have a lot of fun little texture and detail. I'm probably the only person in the whole Scape community that is sad that Scape is going to be unpainted, or one of the few people. But Scape is going to now be pre-painted. I was looking forward to painting all of them, but it's a lot of figures. I know, not everyone can paint, so I'm happy for those that got what they wanted. But boy, I was looking to customize my whole army and teach everyone how to do it. So we'll see what the future holds. I'm excited. It's coming this year. It's coming after 12 years of waiting. The game's coming back. Who would have thought? I had suspicions. I had suspicions when they announced the HasLab for HeroQuest, which is what I'm painting now. I was like, you know what? I think they're going through their old IPs and see what they can revive. I think Heroescape might come back, and I was right by the same company. Alas, that whole thing was a mess. Everyone involved knows it was a mess. I always like to go off camera. I don't know why. I just like making editing difficult on myself. Favorite quest models are different than skate models. They like to add a lot of little details on it that it'd be unwise to just try to. You have to really go really thin on your paints for them. It's kind of a whole different process painting these guys. All right, that's looking. We're getting the base coat done. That's more just me buying time. Always, if you're painting miniatures, never paint just one miniature at a time. Have a bunch that you can work on because you don't want to work with wet paint. You get it all over the place. Let's crack open some Christmas Nolan oil. Now I will not be using my nice brush. Definitely don't use your nice brush for shades. That's the fastest way to ruin it. Now, Citadel shades and Procol shades, they come out pretty thick. You'll want to thin those down. You want to shake your shades too, because there's still pigment that can get separated. Make sure your brush is clean. I said I don't like Citadels, but their washes are pretty good too. I'm gonna give it to them. Citadel has some things they do right. Their technicals, their washes, their browns are especially noteworthy. As well as just, I mean, they have good color matching if you want to do triad colors. It's good for doing that. But I don't like them. I'm mad at them. All right, we're all dry here, so I am just going to really thin down your black wash here. Like you want it almost like that. There we go. And just liberally apply it to the whole thing. Look at that. Talent in a bottle right there. Good night, Tails. Always a pleasure seeing and talking to you. Sleep well. Talk to you later. A really good turnout of people tonight. Really purged my heart. Have some good conversation with some people. I enjoy it. Let's get some more. Now, Citadel is nasty. They want you to spill your pots. Highly recommend if you use them, get something like this kind of pot holder, so you don't waste $8 right there. Now we are just applying this the whole thing. Washes flow downward, so it's especially important when you wash something like this. You don't want pooling if you don't want uneven stuff like that. Have the model dry standing up. We kept it thin, so it shouldn't cover the whitest portions too much. We're gonna go over this and really buff out this white, really make it shine, kind of put the original paint job to shame. That. There you go. Anyone can paint. I can do it. You can put a wash on base coat of colors. Not hard at all. Now we're looking soft. It's the original. You definitely have to brighten that faceplate up, but I wanted to apply the wash first and do some small touch ups. Yeah. You can sit at the holders for the Citadel paints, get the holders for them. Honestly, that is just something you can get on Etsy. It's the best place to get it. You can also, if you have access to a 3D printer, there's 3D files for that as well that are free online. Um, and yeah, they're great. But you can get one for like $6, 6 or $7 on Etsy. What I have here is actually a pot holder and also a dry brush palette, a dry palette. So if I'm dry brushing, I can texture on that, and it applies it a lot better as well. Um, yeah, I got that on Etsy for like $12 or whatever. So it's definitely look there. I have I knocked over one too many things with Citadel in my lifetime. I've grown wise to their tricks. So this is what we're looking like right here. We're coming together. Notice how this wash, unlike the official, we thinned it down so it's just settling in the recesses, not over the entire thing. We are going to go through and we're going to really buff this up, but you want to wait till your washes dry. You don't want to apply paint washes. That will that will make a mess and ruin your model. I've ruined a lot of models by being impatient. And you're just like, oh, the wash is applied. Let's just put paint on it. The paint will blend. It'll get the whole thing gray and mucky, and you'll have to essentially prime it and start all over. How long have I been streaming for here? I do want to apply the highlights, so I'll keep on working on these guys. I have 5, 6 Citadel paints. I've still spilt them. Yeah, it's tragic when it happens because their paints aren't bad. They're just designed to make you buy more paint. You know, no one's ever taken their paint out of a dropper bottle, and droppers aren't perfect. They have their issues as well, but no one's ever taken a paint out of a dropper bottle and put it into a pot. Um, so yeah, I'm a little salty with Citadel. So we are applying just black to the metal, like I talked about before. So yeah, I primed these white. It's a solid light gray, like I did the other, just because I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on them. There's a lot of cloth and skin, but I'm still. It takes a couple extra minutes, but your results will look so much better if you apply an undercoat for things you want to layer up. Let's do this guy as well. Love them both. Unless there's any request for any other Heroescape figures, I can see if I have one printed. I can start working on that. I have a secret goal this year. I don't know if I'm going to do it with how busy Heroescape is going to be releasing and video making schedule, but I kind of want to make every Heroescape figure 3D print painted. It's kind of my secret goal. I'm kind of working on in the background here. All right. People say thin your paints. Definitely make sure the consistency is well, consistency is consistent because you put too much water in, it just will flow and ruin your whole paint job. Final wash. Love Procryl. It's just buttery smooth when it comes out. Great for glazing, great for cloth and skin tones. It is not very good, however. The one downside to Procryl I found, it's not very good for dry brushing because it's so smooth. It kind of flows even when you dry brush it really well. hardest part of a mini to paint is this little crevice right here. If it figures like has a bow and arrow or cock of their arm, it's just it's not hard. You just gotta really look at it from like four different angles. Honestly, these wouldn't be bad guys to paint with speed paint. Let the shade do all the work for you, but maybe I'm pretentious now. I don't know. I like speed paints. Speed paints are really good. They serve a specific purpose. They're not like you lose a lot of control with speed paint. If you like if there's something you want to do multiple colors with and you get on, it's kind of hard to fix it without having to start all over. But for like single color things, it works. Or like things with really clear separation of kind of where color is and boundaries are, it works really good. Probably got another 10 minutes for the washes fully dry, and we can start doing highlights on that. All right, this guy's got like a grayish tan color pants. Let's start with the dark blue of Army Painter's Necromancer Cloak. Army Painters, you just gotta shake rigorously. That's mix those pigments up. I also apply terrain to these guys, so I'm just painting the terrain while I'm here. That's one thing that's tough about Heroescape figures is that you gotta put them on the bases with the stickers, or people get a little mad about that. I used to just send people, when I do commissions, I just send people. I used to send them on like the same shape, but just I would put custom flocking underneath it instead of the sticker because it's a lot easier to fix it to the model and it looks cooler and you can kind of do some cool paint stuff with it. But people are like, "Oh, that's not how skate figures work." Like, all right, I guess I'll do it the proper way. That's why I like doing some other type of things sometimes. I actually like painting. I paint a whole lot. I probably paint at least a figure a day. It averages out to. If I'm not otherwise occupied. This here. Almost dry. I still see little puddles of water. Yeah, 3D print them and spray them brown. Yeah, that's that's the best way to do it. We'll make a video on some how to do some cool flocking. It all depends on what people want, though. I know escapers don't really care too much about bases, but that would be something fun to teach people how to do. But yeah, just spray paint brown. Honestly, Army Painter's leather brown is a really good color match for him, at least close enough for anyone to care. Yeah, I hate doing the stickers. People always ask for them, so I don't have a cry cut or really that kind of capabilities on my end. So I always got to custom order it. Makes the project more expensive for the people I make it. Like, just let me print a base and put some cool stuff on it for you. People like the stickers. I do wonder if the new scape now that's pre-painted will have stickers. That is a genuine curiosity of mine. I'm just getting this part done, so I feel like I've accomplished something. I do plan on making these into custom Heroescape figures. The right scale. They look really nice. Maybe one of these days I'll go through and look at all my old Scape figures I made. Some of them are pretty good, but there's definitely some. I made some when I was like 14 or 15. There's probably some cringy stuff in there. I love this game. This game actually that like making custom Heroescape cards is what inspired me to pursue graphic design. I owe a lot of my interest to Escape. I started writing because of the Escape stories. The little character bios. I was like, oh, I want to recreate that. I got into film because I want to make a Heroescape movie someday. So I really just it's kind of been foundational in the course of my interest and my pursuits. And now I just paint, just parkouring through life from one passion to the next. All right, we're almost dry. I can see it drying before me. Part of this job is just watching paint dry. Let's get just a little bit more here in these guys. I don't really want to work on them too much because I painted the rims of the bases. That's a good way to mess everything up. We're coming there. One of these days, I'm gonna figure out how to do non-metallic metal. That's like my next on my chart, but not today. Not for these guys. this is kind of the part where I'm like, oh, after the watch is replied, kind of gotta move on to something else. All right. If you notice, I'm trying to use a lot of figures with the same brown paint I used, the dark umber, so I'm not wasting paint. So it helps if you pre-plan kind of your painting sessions. If you think you're gonna have some waiting time, or you know, try to find characters that use a lot of the same color. It will definitely it'll save you money and save you time. Because then you're just sitting there doing nothing. You should always be getting your brush going. So I'll use the dark umber I applied for the rogues and apply it to some Max Grinder's boots. Why not? Sitting here just yapping my gums. Might as well be doing something. This is great if you have a lot of, just like your minions, your squad based armies to get done. Because you don't really have to care as much. You just pop it on and knock them out. We're good enough to at least start. All right, so now comes the fun part, not the scary part, is bringing up this white. So since we already have a light base on it, we are going to use the bold titanium white. Now, rarely when you paint, you want to go to absolute white, but I mean, there's special instances where these guys are just pure white. You got to use it. Now, what's very important is that you mix it very well and you thin your whites down. Over here just to watch this part. So you got my white, but it's right at the bottom. Every paint you need to thin down a different amount. You want to just kind of get it so it flows like that. They say the consistency of skim milk is kind of what you desire for, where it holds its form together. Because like over here, it's too thinned out, but you want to just really. There's two factors to consider. Next year's cape paint you have to do. I'm currently doing McCurk's Pathfinders and some fourth mass. I take suggestions, so whatever. If you'd like to have me paint one of those, I can definitely put them on the printer, and I can get that uh scheduled for a stream if you like. I can do the fourth mass or McDurk. McDurks sound fun. I'd be down to paint some McDurks. Those are a lot more fun than fourth mass. Just aren't fun for me to paint because they have a lot of details that don't show up on the 3D print. But I'll try to get a batch of those going. Uh, I'll make that my next stream for you if you would like. I try to stream at least once a week, but I might be doing a bit more now since I kind of have the week off. Might as well. So notice have a thin coat of paint, and we are just going to avoid the recesses where the wash is settled, and thinly apply this to the model. You want to be very careful and like you of course don't have to do this. You can kind of just leave it white and wash it. It'll look just fine. All right, fourth mass. I will get that going for you. I'll do a full. I know a lot of people ask for those, so that's a good one to get done anyways. And maybe I'll make a video about that one too. So I'll put it in the queue. I think I actually have a bunch. No, I sent them to Tails, so I'll print some more off. That one you actually have to paint some details on because they don't show up on most of the 3D prints I've seen. What I'm doing here is taking the edge of my brush and just highlighting these little rotaries to kind of bring out these details. I think there was a stream I did earlier last year where I painted the fourth mass, but that was me more just figuring out how to paint those guys. So definitely a refresh stream would be better for them. This is like a brand new out of the factory Zetacron right here. I never liked how dirty Zetacron was. Like they really applied the wash thick. Big Dirks are also a fun one, as those are not too bad to paint. They only have this little less left, and those six walls are done. Yeah, Big Dirks are really fun. I like painting those guys a lot. They just one main solid color, skin tone, and the blue caps. They're a lot of fun, bright colors to work with. But yeah, fourth mass, I agree. They're a bit tricky. I see what I can do for you. I'll get that going. Now we're just kind of going through. We're just applying thin coats of white to this. You really got to make sure you thin your paints down and just don't fill in the recesses for this part. It's kind of the bonus part here. If someone's just starting off, I wouldn't recommend doing this because white paint can easily look chalky. But I also encourage them to give it a try because why not? Yeah, no problem. I always like when people ask me, "Oh, how does this look?" or "How does this paint?" Gives me something to do because what I have a lot of the skate figures, so I don't really like need to paint them. So if I know someone's like, "Oh, this will help someone out," it really allows me to get motivated to actually do something about it. And if you ever need any prize support for any tournaments, certainly don't hesitate to ask. I like helping out in that regard. Sorry, I'm not talking a lot there this time. I'm just kind of focused on this part. I don't want a stray bit of white to have me gonna have to layer back up. White is merciless. As I mentioned before, look, so I'm going through and I leave the recesses still shaded to give the appearance of contrast. It helps separate little bits of white. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to help out any way I could in that regard. I like doing things for a little bit of free advertising. I'm trying to build the channel up for no other reason than just I'm goal oriented. I'm trying to reach Sir Heroescapers numbers. I got a little bit of ways to go. But really, I just like meeting people, helping people out. I want this to be as bold and vibrant as the Omicron snipers here. happy with that. I'll just add a bit of the brighter silver to that faceplate. Great. And I think do I have an Etsy page or store where I would be able to order stuff for prizes? I don't have an Etsy page for prints. I do have an Etsy page for some just some graphic design stuff. You can find me just you can private message me on Discord or on Facebook. Roguescaper there. Or find me as Josiah Sloan. Um, or as a rogue idealist on the Discord or Roguescaper on the Discord. I'm sorry. You can private message me there. We can work out the details for you, and would be the best way to contact me. But I think we're about done with this guy here, and yeah, so yeah, you can definitely just I think private message would be the way. I'm working on getting an infrastructure set up for some more commission based stuff, but that's kind of on the eventual to do list. So feel free to private message me. Um, that'd probably be the best way to go for it. And I think I'm gonna be calling it a night here. It's been a pleasure chatting and painting with everyone tonight. So thanks so much for doing that. And here's the finished result. I'd say it's pretty good. Here's the original finished result. I have to be careful when I do this sometimes. Sometimes I almost ship the, the rare stuff out and keep the things I paint. Um, yeah, so you can. I have a Discord. People can certainly follow. You can be part of the Rogues Gallery, and you know you can share any of your painting or ask for tips and trips there, or just hang out and talk about Star Wars and movies, whatever suits your fancy there. And feel free to private message me. I'm always always open to chat, always open to connect and reach out with people. Uh, thanks so much, and thanks for watching. Have a great night.